This is a little crazy. It's a somewhat uncomfortable place for a foreigner to be, honestly. Good morning, Fearless Fam! We're gonna go exploring. Oh yeah, I'm excited. We're gonna go exploring right now. I just finished editing the vlog, and I was gonna get it all like uploaded and stuff and like ready to go, and I was like, you know what? Screw it, I wanna leave. I'm ready to explore. We're gonna go to YuanMingYuan Park, and then tonight, Eric and I are gonna go to that vegetarian restaurant, the Chinese one. In my opinion, the best vegetarian restaurant that I've been to in Beijing. I wanted to go one more time, so I gotta check that off my Beijing to-do list. So round trip, the journey to the YuanMingYuan ruins, it's about 3 hours round trip. So it's like an hour and a half there, hour and a half back. So I get to leave right now. It is 11:45. Should probably get something to eat first. I don't really know what I want to eat. Let's do it! Made it! I made it to YuanMingYuan. That's a long trip from where I live. I'm over in Chaoyang near Sanyuanqiao, and I had to get all the way over to like basically the other side of the city. So that's why it's taken me so long to get out here, but I'm glad I'm finally here. I ended up getting the through ticket, which is 25 kwai, so that I can go see like a panoramic like model of what it used to look like here, and then I can also go see the like famous ruin spot. So I have no idea where I'm going right now, but there's a beautiful lake behind me. I guess I'm just gonna walk around until I see signs that'll point me out to the ruins, because unfortunately I did not memorize the Chinese characters for the ruins, and all the maps are in Chinese. This is beautiful. YuanMingYuan means the Gardens of Perfect Brightness. YuanMingYuan, or rather the ruins of it, is also known as the Old Summer Palace. It was first constructed in 1709 during the Qing dynasty. Over 150 years, the garden was expanded to be a large-scale Chinese emperor's private pleasure garden. Hundreds of scenic spots in the garden were made up of exquisitely constructed halls, pavilions, chambers, kiosks, earth and rock hills, rivers and ponds, and exotic flowers and grasses from different parts of the country. It represented a harmonious blend of typical Chinese scenery and Western architecture. YuanMingYuan once covered an area almost 5 times the size of the Forbidden City. Hundreds of structures stood on the grounds. Sometimes it was called the Garden of Gardens, or the Versailles of the East. Furthermore, it was also an imperial museum that collected a large number of books, treasures, and cultural artifacts. However, a large number of these collections were plundered by the Anglo-French Allied forces in 1860, at the same time as the garden was burnt down. In 1860, during the Second Opium War, British and French expeditionary forces arrived in Beijing. 2 envoys went ahead of the main force under a flag of truce to negotiate with Prince Yi and representatives of the Qing Empire. After a day of talks, they and their small escort of British and Indian troopers were taken prisoner by the Qing general. They were confined and tortured. 2 of the leaders were returned after 2 weeks with 14 other survivors, but 20 British, French, and Indian captives died. Lord Elgin, the British High Commissioner to China, retaliated against the torture and executions by ordering the destruction of the Old Summer Palace. Destroying the Old Summer Palace was thought to be a way of discouraging the Qing Empire from using kidnapping as a bargaining tool. It took 3,500 British troops to set the entire place ablaze, and the massive fire lasted for 3 days. This is a little crazy. Since I looked up the history before I came here, I'm like, the feel here is very like somber. I mean, it's a lot of destruction. It's really sad. The really crazy thing is that, see these big pillars that are like partially standing? I heard some of those pillars are in foreign museums, which I find to be just like such a slap in the face. Like, they initially got these pieces into foreign museums because they did this. It's just weird. Oh, by the way, if you don't have the through ticket, you can't come into this area that I'm in right now. You can see it from the outside because it's not like it has a solid fence. But I recommend getting the through ticket, because then you get access to this. Ruins on ruins. This is really crazy. I see a lot up ahead too. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a lot of looks from tour groups. I'm trying not to make eye contact with anybody. It's a somewhat uncomfortable place for a foreigner to be, honestly. I have not seen a single other foreigner, which has never happened at a tourist site in Beijing for me. It was like basically a bunch of European countries, the US and Japan, that destroyed this place, so I'm clearly like Western, and like 7 out of the 8 countries that like caused this were Western countries. So it's a little bit of a rough place to be. Maybe I'll just say I'm from Canada. Unknown to the troops, some 300 remaining eunuchs and palace maids, who concealed themselves from the intruders in locked rooms, perished with the burnt palace buildings. The palace was again sacked and completely destroyed in 1900 when the forces of the 8-Nation Alliance invaded Beijing. One thing I find very interesting is that this place actually was a mosque at one point. There's Islamic inscriptions on the stones on the inside of some of this building. Charles George Gordon wrote about the experience. You can scarcely imagine the beauty and magnificence of the places we burnt. It made one's heart soar to burn them. In fact, these places were so large, and we were so pressed for time that we could not plunder them carefully. Quantities of gold ornaments were burnt, considered as brass. It was wretchedly demoralizing work for an army. So behind me is the really famous image of YuanMingYuan, the curved archway and everything. This building used to be huge, and I can only imagine how pretty it was. So these are the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac calendar. I'm a horse. Tell me below if you know what you are. They used to comprise the water clock, and basically one at a time would do 2 hours of spewing water, and they have holes in their mouth, so water would come out their mouths for 2 hours at a time and it'd go, down the line, and that would be 24 hours in a day. So this was like a clock for them, basically. Obviously, the thing in the middle is not the original fountain. They were attached to like a stone, a big like fountain back in the day. Many of these treasures dated back to the Shang, Zhou, and Han dynasties and were up to 3,600 years old. Some treasures ended up in Chinese hands, but many of the treasures ended up in the hands of foreigners and are currently on display in places like Britain, France, and the United States. Although the Chinese government has tried to recover them, only a few statuettes from the Garden of Eternal Spring have actually been returned. I don't think it's possible to comprehend how big this place is. It's massive. I can't believe how much they had to go through just to destroy it all. I don't know what to say. Yeah, it just used to be huge. This place used to be so massive. Common people were not allowed here, so it's kind of like the Forbidden City. Eventually, if this had like survived everything, this would have been turned into a tourist site, and people would be coming here and touring the grounds. But back in the day, when it was like dynastic rule, common people would not have been allowed here, just like royalty and stuff. I don't know if you guys can tell, but there are so many people working in there right now. Look at all the yellow hard hats. This must be some kind of big like garden maze type thing, like Alice in Wonderland-esque. It looks awesome. I think they must be reconstructing it because it looks pretty intact. So next time I come to Beijing, I'll have to come here so I can check that out. Finally saw another foreigner here. I saw a foreign family, husband, wife, and 2 kids. Pretty sure every single one of them spoke Chinese. Now what I'm doing is I'm headed towards the panorama model of what YuanMingYuan Park used to look like. So the problem with these Chinese tourist sites that are like all stone ground is that it doesn't matter what kind of shoes you wear, your feet just start to hurt after a while. I'm hitting that point where I'm in my best shoes, but my feet are starting to hurt, so hopefully I find the panorama model thing really soon. I think I'm walking the right way. We'll see. If I'm correct, I have to go over there, like on the other side of this water. There's a lot of water here, so you gotta like meander your way around. I just realized how quiet it is here. So nice. The burning of the old summer palace is still a very sensitive issue in China today. The destruction of the palace has been perceived as barbaric and criminal by many Chinese, as well as by external observers. Guys, are these black swans? Is everybody about to die? Okay, wow, I just took like the most ridiculous circle to get here, but I think I'm finally here. I think this is what I'm looking for. This is very interesting. Okay, so this is the panorama. Look how big it is. It's also like 80 degrees in here. It's like so hot. I'm like, is this part of the panorama experience? Like, is it really hot here? There are currently several plans in China for rebuilding the gardens, but such moves have been opposed on the grounds that they will destroy an important relic of modern Chinese history. Any rebuilding would be a colossal undertaking, and no rebuilding of above-the-ground structures has been approved. So guys, I came in through there. Been here for about 2 hours. I walked over there, and look how big this place is. Wait, what? I know this channel is called Born Without Fear, but I'm afraid of swans. It's true. They're vicious creatures. They're mean. That's all I have to say, but I'm gonna go look at some. Because like I said, this channel is called Born Without Fear. I'm gonna face my fears. It is still debated in China whether to apply for an inclusion of the Old Summer Palace on the list of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. I think I got lost. So stupid. Kind of freaking me out, but this is one of those moments when you're traveling where you're like, probably should just trace my steps back instead of trying to go some different way that I assumed was going to get me there faster. I mean, I'm not terribly worried. I'm just trying to get back to the metro. Things are looking a little bit more familiar, so hopefully we're in the clear soon. I feel like I'm going to accidentally poop my pants because I'm nervous now. Anxiety problems. I found a completely unmistakable bridge, so I know exactly where I am now. I get to climb it. Hooray. Headed back to the subway now. I'm not lost anymore. Yay! And the total count for number of foreigners, excluding myself, is 6. I saw 6 foreigners. And there were like at least 1,000 people here. Crazy. We're back at this cool vegetarian place for dinner tonight. This is our 3rd time here, and it's been good every time before this, so I'm excited. It walks into this menu. I just need to show you how thick this menu is. Look at this. It's like a full-fledged book of options. Not complaining. Soy milk with Job's tears. They have vegetarian sashimi, vegetarian hot dogs, vegetarian skewers, vegetarian roast duck. We ordered lotus flower tea, fancy. Look, it comes with this rock candy. I just want to eat it. Ooh, it's bright yellow. First up, tofu. Second out is the Chinese yams. I've literally been thinking about these all day long. They're sweet and sour yams, so I'm real excited because it's gonna go well. This is spicy and a little bit bitter to me, and then this is sweet, so it'll be a good contrast. Next up is pea shoots, which we got last time, and they're made with almonds, so it's got a really almondy flavor, and it's so freaking good. Ugh. By the way, we got a lot of food. We ordered 5 different dishes, so if it comes out and you're there's no way you're gonna eat that food, we're fully aware. It's just that I wanted leftovers for lunch tomorrow. Oh my god, that is so cute. This is assorted mushrooms with truffle. Yes. And lastly, we have the pancakes, which have vegetables and stuff on the inside. They're fried. They're usually super crispy. These seem kind of sad. I don't know. They'll probably still be good. I'm guessing a lot of these will be left over from my lunch tomorrow. We're eating like kings tonight. Guys, this is a roadside dumpling operation. This lady over there's got the dumplings. He's cooking them up. They're eating. Really good. I'm glad we went there. I can check that off my list. I can check YuanMingYuan Park off my list. And I have more stuff I'm checking off the list tomorrow. So I will see you then. Thank you for watching. Okay, bye!